Hey guys, welcome back to Total Carp Fishing TV. Today you join me in the office and I am going to show you exactly how to tie Darrell Peck's combi multi-rig utilising the Gemini tidy booms. Now before I show you exactly how to tie the rig itself, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the tidy booms from Gemini. Now you will have seen in previous videos that Gemini do a whole range of different tidy booms to suit different rigs, and this one is designed perfectly for the combi rig. Now the tidy boom itself is made up of a 30-pound fluorocarbon with a fuse loop at the end, and that fuse loop is a lot stronger than a conventional knot. And then at the business end you've got a 3.1mm matte black ring that is fused directly to the boom itself. In each pack you get 3 boom sections and they come in 3 different lengths. You've got 5.5 inches, 7 inches and also 9 inches. But for this particular rig I'm going to focus on the 7-inch boom, so we'll move them to one side and we'll get on with the rig itself. So the components you need to create this rig: obviously you're going to need your tidy booms. You're then going to need choice of hook. For this we are using a wide gauge size 4. You're then going to need micro ring swivels. And then the braid we've chosen to use is a durable, finely woven piece of braid. This is actually from the inner of a coated braid. And the reason you want it to be so tough is so that you can use the rig over and over again. A couple of other bits you're going to need. You're going to need a liner. Now we've chosen to use a cut down bit of anti-tangle sleeve. You could also use a bit of shrink tubing, a bit of silicone, or even a conventional kicker. But ideally you don't want it to have too much of an aggressive curve and close the gape off on the hook. Right then, so first thing you want to do is take out one of the tidy booms from the packaging, and just to make you aware, these do come stuck down on the packaging with a little bit of glue, so make sure that you dispose of that correctly rather than chucking it on the floor. But once you've got your boom out, you can start the next process. So as you can see on first look at the packaging, that ring is fused nice and neatly at the business end. And at the other end, you've got a very neat and tidy fuse loop that's going to attach directly to your lead arrangement. Right, so the first thing you need to do is take your piece of braid, double that over, and then what you're going to do is pass that braid through the ring, and you only need about 1 inch through the ring. Now any longer than that, when you pull down the knot tight, you'll end up pulling it too far and having too much length at the business end. So having it about 1 inch is perfect. Then what we're going to do is create a 5-turn blood knot. So we're going to take the 2 tag ends, wrap them around 5 times, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to pass those tag ends through the loop. So it's important at this point to make sure that you moisten it before you pull it down. And then we're going to pull down away from that boom section. And you'll see that that bit of braid lengthens out a bit. So any longer we would have had a really long section, which wouldn't have been ideal at all for the rig. So pull that down nice and tightly. If you need to, get a pulling tool, make sure that knot is really, really tight. And that way you've created a section that you'll be able to reuse over and over again. Now just before we move on, we need to cut off those tag ends. So take your scissors, cut them down nice and short, and you can blob these with a lighter as well, just to give you an extra bit of security. Making sure that that knot does not undo itself. So there you go, that leaves you with about 2 inches of braid, and now it's time to attach the hook and everything else that's needed to make this rig. So next what we're going to do is take our baiting needle and our liner. Now what you want to do is take the baiting needle, pass it through the thick end of the liner, and we're going to poke it through just before the end of the liner. Go like that. So the line isn't actually entering through the top, it's actually entering through the side. And what we can do, pass pass that straight on to our loop. Followed by the hook. And this will all become very, very clear why it's so simple to change the hook so quickly. We're going to pass the line through the front of the eye of the hook, followed by attaching our micro ring swivel. And then we're going to pass that loop over the end of the hook. And then we can position our micro ring swivel in line with the barb of the hook. Next thing to do is slide that liner over the eye of the hook and down the shank. So once you've got that liner into position, give it a little bend just to add a bit more of an aggressive turn on it. But like I say, we don't want it too much of an aggressive turn, hence why we've chosen this particular liner. So there we go, that is the rig pretty much done. The last thing you need to do is add a bait, add an anti-tangle sleeve, and then attach it to your lead arrangement. The beauty of this rig is that you can change that hook, like I said, really, really easily, and this one setup will last you a long, long time. You don't have to worry about creating a new rig every time you catch a fish. It's simply a case of taking off that hook, reattaching a new hook, and you're good to go. And yeah, it's a super simple rig. And if it's good enough for Darrell Peck, it's good enough for you and me. So there we go, that is the Tidy Boom for combi rigs from Gemini Tackle. If you do want any more information, then head to Gemini's website, which is www.geminicarptackle.com.